Welcome back, guys. Today we're checking out the opinion of a man who is notorious for interesting opinions on the gotcha community. If I recall, he said Wuthering Waves was gonna fail, and that shit did not age well. It really didn't. I don't think it turned out to be that way. I think it's doing pretty damn fine actually. And now he's made a video about Wuthering Waves. And it's called "Why Hardcore Players Are Ruining Games." Wuthering Waves. I kind of have an idea what this would be like, and I'm sure I'll have a difference of opinion. But either way, like, subscribe, check out his video. It'll be in the description below, and let's get into it.
Hardcore players are ruining our games. Specifically, Wuthering Waves. So I consider myself a tier below hardcore. I min-max here or there if I have a favorite character, but I'm not gonna sit here and try to exhaust the entire game in a week. It's like these people buy a family-sized box of cereal and they eat it within 2 to 3 days. Bro, learn some fucking serving sizes. I'm gonna go through some points on why I think these people are ruining the games. They're gonna cause some issues for this game, and you can't really do anything.
My whole thing is you can't really exhaust Wuthering Waves due to the ecosystem and the way it works, and then like you're gonna be looking for those main stats for multiple characters, and you can basically farm for upcoming characters that you know the typing will be. Jinxie or whatever her name is, Jinxie. She's most likely gonna be Cryo, just from what we've seen in the game. Cryo. Wow. I don't know what it's called. She's gonna be Ice. Okay. I think it is called Cryo in this game as well. Uh, and then you have Yinlin. We know her typing. We know all the stuff she's gonna need. If you're doing dual lightning set, you're gonna need to farm 2 sets of that because she's best with Kalkaro, and I know most of you have him. Uh, and if you don't have him, it's because you literally chose not to. Like, you had a selector, then you had the other selector with the banner or whatever, right? So most people have Kalkaro. You're gonna have to farm double, or you can farm the lingering set for Kalkaro and then the lightning set for Yinlin. But either way, you have to farm for all these characters. There's a lot of characters in the game already in terms of like where you don't have enough resources to level up these echoes, but you can collect like a shit ton of echoes. I don't think you can really like. That's what I've been doing. I finished the game like main story like in a day or two because I was off of work. We had like a 4-day weekend, so I finished that, and yeah, I've been grinding. It's been fun either way. Like, obviously, I'm not on as long because all I have to do is grind some echoes, and then I'm chilling and use my stamina. But I'm almost level 40, and yeah. Yeah, I don't think you can really exhaust the game unless you get like the luckiest pulls of on fucking Earth, and like you farm out months somehow.
This much and they want to min-max it and they want to 100% everything, they should be able to do this 100%. But I think it has a lot of negative effects on the development of these games. So I want to go through how these actually affect the game. Content exhaustion. I hate how the game will come out and you have these people that will beat every single piece of content. And I talked about this a long time ago about how hardcore players were going to beat the hard content on day one. And I don't think anyone's reached that level because I think the devs understood, yeah, these people, they gonna run through the content. That's why you can't upgrade your echoes. They bottleneck echo XP. Like, they put all these locks on the game.
That's not why. Honestly, I've had no problems with echoes in terms of this. To be fair, I'm not free to play, but legit, I have a shit ton of tuning material. I think people were just like actually like retarded. I'm gonna be honest. If you have no tuning materials left, you're actually, well, actually no. I have tuning material left, but I don't have like the XP for the echoes. But like, I have like 2 main teams built. So I'm very confused. People are like really struggling. You don't need the 3 teams yet. You're not even high enough level to beat Tower of Adversity, to be honest. Like, you got, like, it's just not happening until we're like higher level. So I don't really understand this problem people are having. Like, what the fuck? You can't build 2 teams? Like, what the fuck were you guys doing? If you spent all of your fucking XP on like 4-star echoes, or purple echoes, I should say, not 4 star. Purple echoes, then I really don't know what the fuck to tell you. Like, it fucking sucks. You were dumb. Like, it happens. I'm still getting more and more XP. What you should be doing is doing tacit fields with your daily experience, and you won't run into this problem. People are just like so weird. Like, from 30 to 40 is fucking long. Like, do tacit fields. You don't need to farm essential materials until like 39. You need 10,000 XP. You're gonna make it there for the characters that matter. When it comes to essential materials, like, people are just dumb. I think, honestly, I've
And
not.
because
This
they know
bottleneck is
these
not as bad
people
as they
are going to
act.
just run through everything. And I'm not saying this is a bad thing. I mean, I've run through some of the content, but I know, let me take my time because there are update cycles in these games. And if you just run through everything, you're going to be the one in someone's chat. You're going to be the one in someone's video comments talking about, bro, there's no content. Where's the content? What should I do? Oh, this game's trash. It has no content. Why can't we do this? Why can't we do that? It's like, dude, you did everything you were supposed to do. It's like becoming a billionaire. You beat the game. You ain't got nothing to do.
I agree with him to an extent, but the thing is, no one's beating all the content in this game. I think they made it where it's difficult enough where, like, a lot of the in-game shit, until you reach those later levels with your characters and union level, you're not gonna beat that shit. Like, those challenges in the overworld, it's really fucking hard. The hologram challenges, and yeah, like, I think even people who saying they are nothing, they haven't completed everything in the game. It's fucking impossible. What I think the problem is with this game is that you hit a wall at 30 where it's like 40 fucking union or 10 10 union levels to level 40 is fucking insane because there's not enough story content. And that gap is fucking massive. It feels like it takes fucking forever. We are getting 20 stamina refreshes, which is fucking huge. I'm gonna go from 39 to 40 tonight when I play if I'm still up at 10 p.m. Uh, but this shit is crazy. Like, that grind is long, but I also think it's kind of good because it gives you time. Like, there's no reason to rush at that point, right? Like, it's gonna take forever anyway. Take your time, enjoy it. That's what I've been doing. I think a lot of people are like fiending, like, just going too hard. Like, the game just came out, relax. It released with less content than Genshin 1.0 had, I think, because I think we at least have part of Liyue. Whereas here we have like this story section in this area, and that's it. Which kind of sucks, but at the same time, I don't really give a fuck. Like, it's fine. The world's big, it's fun. But
I
he's
mean, just
absolutely
imagine the
right there.
strain that this will have on devs because they build something that's supposed to be done within a certain cycle. That causes people to call the game bad and there's nothing to do. It's boring. It's like, no, dude, you're the one that's just playing 16 hours a day, bro. Imagine if you took them 16 hours and did something else with it. Imagine how your life would be. Anyway, I think people pushing the game to its limit the first few days causes the devs to release lower quality updates. And I think we've seen this with a lot of games. I'm not going to mention.
I actually disagree. You actually really do want people to hurry up and get towards like the end game. I think it exposes a lot of issues that the devs can work on early. So by the time all the casual players and less hardcore players make it there, it'll be a better experience for them. We're seeing that right now, like with the whole ecosystem and everything they're revamping, trying to see what they can do to make it easier for everyone, right? So I don't think it's bad. I think those people are kind of necessary. I'm kind of one of those people. Like I said, I'm 39. I've been spending all of my gems to refresh every day as many times as I can. And it's only because that 30 to 40 is fucking brutal right now. That unit, it's not going to be bad for newer players in the future because there'll be way more content in the game. But for right now, if you're like from launch, it's really fucking long, man. It's been days. It's been days people have been trying to get to the next like ascension tier. That limits what you can do, and the biggest part is that my Echo XP is max, right? But you can't get to that level. You can't get like the last like 4 levels of the Echo thing, the data bank, until the next ascension tier, which sucks because now you're stuck at 50-50 for whether the Echo will be gold or purple. and that really fucking sucks. It really sucks because you're getting like purples that you literally can't do shit with outside of feed them into hoping you get a gold in the data bank like absorption thing. So yeah, it really sucks. I think we do need players like that though. I've seen a lot of issues that other players wouldn't have seen because they're lower level. And yeah, and people found out a lot of stuff early on, which is helping the devs. They've already responded
in
today.
other games because I don't feel like dealing with shills and crybabies. But you can think of the games that you probably know what I'm talking about, where over time the updates just felt rushed, things weren't thought through, the events kind of sucked. And I think devs do this to kind of satiate the hardcore players or people who just push all the content because it's like, okay, well, we got to shut them up. They're right. The content, there is no content in the game. So, I mean, we got to add something. And I feel like they don't actually get a chance to just really make something special. But I feel like this is a issue that happens in most games that probably will happen with this game because this game is more of a hardcore experience. Now, I'll be honest, okay? I like this one. I like this point here. I like this issue. So exploit discovery. Because hardcore players 100% the game, for the next 3 weeks, what you gonna do? Try to exploit the game, try to min-max. This is just the cycle of life. This is just what happens. And you find little hacks and exploits and cheats to bypass the regular game mechanics. In Wuthering Waves, there's a lot of echo exploits right now, and I'll be honest, I'm using them shit too, okay? Look, I'm there with you. I'm there with you. Look, I get it. But I'm just saying, although I like it, I think it's still bad for the game. I 100% do because
I don't know what he means by exploits.
The content
He has to be more
pacing
specific.
issues, which causes the devs to have to force updates or give low quality updates. And maybe this does or doesn't affect it, but it seems like it. I'm not at their headquarters developing the game. Maybe it doesn't affect anything. And if it doesn't, great. Now
that point was not elaborated. Like you, if we're gonna say exploits, you have to be more like transparent with what exploits are you talking about. Like I'm very fucking confused because I'm like I've played the shit out of this game. I don't know what he means. Does he mean what the switching exploit? Like it's not really an exploit. I don't think. I think it was meant to be that way, or maybe not. But I don't really know what he means. Does he mean like the how to get the 100% chance? Because that wouldn't be an exploit either. Like I don't know what he means. Is there an exploit to give you a billion echoes in a second? Like I don't understand what his point was.
Unaware of themselves, they don't realize they are the problem. Now I'm all for feedback and criticism, but I think there is a point in which it's too much and it's like, all right, bro, you're asking for way too much. And I think that since these people are so aggressive, a lot of other issues get overshadowed because it's like, oh well, we gotta help these people because look how much they're complaining. And I think a lot of the issues that hardcore adjacent players experience aren't necessarily issues that need to be handled right away when you could just wait for the next update. But it's like they want them to rush and rush and rush, and it's like, dude, just let them cook a little bit.
Homie does not elaborate on a single point. What do you mean? Like what? Like I'm so fucking confused, bro. You can't keep doing it. You have to elaborate. You have to be specific. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Like what? I don't even remember what this point was called. Like what? What? Okay, I can't find it. Okay, just okay. Fuck it.
I don't necessarily think being hardcore is the specific issue with this. I think it's mostly all players, but you see it more from like hardcore players or the hardcore audience in general, where they'll apply these crazy expectations of the game because, you know, they're like, oh man, what if this mechanic could do this? Oh, the next character is going to be busted. Oh, they're going to blah, blah, blah. And we've seen this a million times. And I think this hurts the game because the reality is often disappointing. Perfect example I can give for this is Genshin. Oh, wouldn't it be cool if they added a character that did this and did this? Oh, dude, they could update the mechanics. They could do this. Oh, dude.
I don't think this is an accurate point at all. This makes zero fucking sense. I think it would be cool if a character had fucking I don't know, an ability to fucking absorb energy from echo. Like I don't know, just get energy from killing echoes or some shit. I don't fucking know, some random shit, right? Like I don't understand how this would like fuck up the dev team's ability to create. They might actually see something and get an idea for a character or something like that. I don't think expressing ideas for a game is ever bad. It's how you go about it. If you're like, well, this game is trash because it doesn't have a character like Kirby who instantly eats a character and then gains that character's abilities. Like I don't really know exactly what he means by this. Like pop off, I guess. I think it's kind of a Doom post because I don't even see like any major hardcore issues when it comes to like hardcore player issues when it comes to Wuthering Waves yet. I see a lot of hardcore players actually going out of their way to find different combos and stuff because there's a lot of like nuances to this game. They built the combat system really well, and there's a lot of shit you can do with it. So all the hardcore players, from what I've seen, have been doing that, which is gonna help us because it's gonna make guides 10 times better. Because it'll teach people who want to spend more time learning a character. It's gonna help them make that character busted, regardless of how good the character is. From like the easiest way to deal damage, you might have a really busted way to play a character like Encore, and it increases their damage tenfold just from stuff hardcore players have found out. I think this is better for everyone. Like I don't understand how this is a problem. Uh because if you, a lot of people say main and main, and this is a game where like having a main is stupid. I think that's stupid in all gacha games. The fuck does it mean to have a main when there's so many characters that come out? You're obviously gonna summon for a character at some point in the future. I think that whole concept is dumb. But in this game, if you spend extra time with a character, you are rewarded with more damage, more skill, and it feels rewarding, especially right now where we can't like out level shit.
Dude, they can buff this character. And then when they don't do it, we're like, oh, the game's trash. You can't apply these high expectations to a game that
Nobody's been calling for like hardcore buffs. Like I don't know where he's getting this. I legit have not seen this. I might be wrong. Maybe you guys have, but even then, it's such a small minority that 99% of people in the community have not seen this. I guarantee. Like, what are you talking about?
didn't plan on even being that thing that you want it to be. And I think Genshin is that, where it's like, yo, we're just casual. Like, we weren't trying to be a hardcore game. Like, what y'all doing? It's like Fortnite. They even added no build because, like, bro, we never wanted to be a freaking try hard cracked game. We just
Wuthering Waves definitely does want to be more hardcore and more adult. They've added like systems for combos in there, 100% that aren't mistakes, and a lot of characters are a lot deeper than people see at the like basic level. This was found in the closed beta test. Like this, if these were glitches, they would have patched them out of way more characters. They really do add like little things with characters that really like there's a lot of combo cancels and all that kind of stuff. And I think it's really good. They added a parry. That tells you a lot. If a game adds a parry, you got to start looking at it like, oh, maybe this game is a little more difficult than Genshin Impact,
just
you
wanted
know?
a fun game for people to play, and then y'all just want to fucking try to make this your career.
All games
Back
should
to
be
Genshin
fun.
Impact. Yeah, people, they have these crazy expectations, and they never
But that doesn't mean easy.
capitalize
and
on
simple.
them at all, like literally at all. I mean, we have Wuthering Waves today, so I think that we worked out fine, right? We're good. We're handled. Okay, we're handled. Thanks, Kiro. But still, but yeah, I think unrealistic expectations could hurt games, and it does hurt games. So
Remember when you said Wuthering Waves would fail? See, you've changed your tune.
with Wuthering Waves, I feel like a lot of people say, oh, dude, the next characters are gonna be so cracked. They should. But when they're not, we just, oh, we're so disappointed. Oh God, how could they not make the best thing ever created in the universe? I mean, you gotta sit in reality. Not every character.
I get what he's saying, but this is about Wuthering Waves. There's been no character releases that weren't already out of the closed beta test. Like, I don't know what he means. There's no one's saying this because we're not even getting like a new character for like a month. Like Yidlin's coming sooner now, so we're gonna get Jinxie and the other girl, I can't remember her name. We're getting them sooner, but like nobody, I have not seen anyone like they better be the best characters in the game, and I haven't seen this, bro. I think he's like tweaking. I'll be honest.
There's gonna be busted. Now everything is gonna be this and that, and you don't know their plan. You don't know what they're trying to do with the game. And I think Wuthering Waves is gonna be fine, 100%. But I'm talking about it because I see it becoming a problem slowly but surely. Now we're going to talk about the meta. Now this one gets under my skin personally because I think this actually ruins the game. This is the thing that ruins the game in its entirety. So the metas. And who creates the metas? The hardcore players. The reason this is an issue is because with games where you have builds and stuff like that, where you can have classes, or let's just stick to Wuthering Waves, you can build your character and you have this ecosystem. I think the fun is building your own character, finding out your own builds. But when you have these people that just automatically...
Okay, I'm gonna actually completely shit on this point. I'm gonna like dismantle this piece by piece, right? So what he's saying is for the casual and less hardcore players, what matters is that like you figure this shit out on your own, blah blah blah. That would be fine in a normal game. This is a gacha game where your polls fucking matter, and if you're not a whale, so if you're a whale, you're probably hardcore. I'll be honest. If you're whaling and you're not playing the game, I should tell you you're just fucking stupid, right? But you're talking about, he's talking about more casual, probably a lot of the free to play players. I say 90% of the free to play players, right, are probably casual, right? And you're talking about these characters. One, they're not going to have the resources to spend time building every character, seeing what works. They also won't have time to really discover these combos for really intricate characters and complex characters. And three, they're probably just not going to have as much knowledge as people who are always playing the game. And a lot of casual players watch guides. That's what guides are created for. These hardcore players, metas are usually, they get challenged sometimes, but typically they find their place once everybody understands the game. Like you can see this in Honkai Star Rail. Like there's never any new character that really, like you can kind of tell if a character is going to be good. It's very rare that a character will be surprisingly good. You kind of can start looking at their kit and tell. Hardcore players are responsible for that kind of shit. They do the testing so we don't have to. They do like all the calculations. There's a lot of numbers. You can't expect a casual player who has an hour to a day to play the game to figure out all this shit, or waste all of their resources building characters who end up being really bad. And because they're free to play, they can't beat the really difficult content because they're using characters who may not do as much DPS. They're not going to have as much skill as hardcore players or players who play a lot. So I think this is a really horrible point. Hardcore players serve a very distinct purpose. It's not to say you can never challenge the meta, but these like tier lists and all this shit, it's really good for players who want to beat really difficult content but don't have the time to test all this shit. And yeah, metas get challenged and there may be a surprise character that's better than people thought, but those really good characters are never going to be dropped down to like, oh, this character was never good, because you see their damage output, you see all this stuff. Honestly, you want these hardcore players. Like if you're, it's like with the whales versus free to play. Free to play players want whales because then the game exists. Like you did, no whales. These games make significantly less money. You get less updates, and then a game gets shut down. We see this with gacha games all the fucking time, right? It's the same concept. The hardcore players are gonna help the free to play, and the free to play help advertise the game, talk about the game, get the player numbers up, build hype for the game, and then that invites more players, and hopefully a chunk of those are more whales or more late to mid spenders, right? So this whole concept that, oh, the meta is bad, etc., etc. If you're playing 1 to 2 hours a day, I guarantee you'll never beat Tower of Adversity. Just testing shit out. For probably 2 years. Oh, it's gonna be over a year for sure. It's gonna be a very long time. Whereas if you are someone who is free to play, you just want to beat really difficult content, you can just look at these guides in the meta, and that will help your decisions. If you don't want to follow the meta, you don't have to, but people deserve to speak about the meta, and they 100% should, because it helps people make better purchasing decisions as well, and it helps free-to-play players distribute their resources accordingly. Maybe you have a team you want to build just because you like them, but then you have another team that's really fucking strong to help you clear content, you know? Like, I think that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that.
Apply meta, say, oh, you're not optimizing your character great enough. Oh man, you need to have this echo, you need to have this. It's like, bro, like let people experiment and have fun with the build. And it's like you put pressure on people. Oh well, you're not gonna beat this boss if you don't have this meta. It's like the whole fun of hard content is figuring out the hard content. Why are you stripping the fun away from the game, which is building the fucking character? Why would I even play the game if you just gonna play it for me? But
you could just not look at tier lists, or you could just not look at hardcore content if you're against it. But it doesn't mean that they're ruining the game. Like, I don't understand.
Then when you have these people that just completely min-max and they force you and pressure you into building it a certain way because, oh, if you don't have the optimal build, you're a loser. Let me give you an example. What's his name? Lin Yang. Everyone said, oh, he's trash. He's so garbage. Bro, when I got that dude to my account, he obliterated everything. What are you talking about? He's trash. How is he trash? Wow, he does 1% less than Calcharo. Shut up. He's not fucking trash. There's no character in the game that is trash. That's why
Calcharo is just infinitely better. It's for so many reasons. If you're talking about hitboxes, if you're talking about flexibility, if you're talking about damage, like there's multiple things that go into it. Ling Yang is just he's very single target damage oriented. For a lot of content in the game, that's good for bosses, but I mean, even then he gets out DPS very easily by Calcharo. Once Yinlin comes, she's absolutely that team is gonna dominate the game. And if you want to build and play Ling Yang, that's 100% fine. I don't think anybody should be pressuring people to play certain characters. I think it's better if they don't, because then I feel more, my account feels a little more unique, right? But Ling Yang, he's just not the best. I think I have him with a dupe because I got unlucky. But he's just, if I have limited resources and I have Calcaro and I have Ling Yang, or if I want Yinlin, it makes zero sense for me to build Ling Yang, and people should know that so that they don't waste their resources and then put Yinlin on a team with fucking, I don't know, like someone who doesn't deserve it, right? So it's just weird. We have so many picks
say, bro,
in
this
the
is
game.
so annoying where it's like this meta because these people are operating on like of the 1%. Like, oh man, well, this character is actually way better because they do 2% more damage in this specific scenario. It's like, bro, the fuck you talking about? Here's my rule. If it does 20% extra, it's better. If it does anything less, I don't give a fuck. I'm sorry. This one roused me up. Maybe I'm doing too much. And if I'm doing too much, let me know down.
There's no Ling Yang. There's going to be over a 20% difference. There's no Ling Yang team that's going to compete with the Yinlin Calcara team. It's just not. I'm sorry. There's no. He literally just doesn't have that. Jin Shi, she may be the cryo buffer. Now, if she is, that might actually really change shit. And that's the thing with early games. You really don't know the meta yet, right? You don't know how the devs are going to release characters or if they're going to like be adding like DPS buffers to every single team. You don't know. So he's 100% right in like the fact people should be testing. Never let people pressure you into playing a character because they don't fucking know what they're developing. There's not like a shit ton of leaks in this game at all. I haven't been able to find any leaks really. Kuro Games is doing pretty good at that, but the game is also new. Once the game's been out for like 6 months to a year, then the meta will probably be defined. I'm gonna be honest. And then there'll be a character that breaks the meta and it's gonna be cool and things will change. But for right now, listen to him when it comes to test shit. Don't care about what people are telling you. Maybe look at guides to like understand what each echo does so you don't waste time. You really don't have the resources to waste on fucking echo testing and shit like that. I'm sorry, it's just fucking stupid for you to do that if you're a casual. It's just a waste of resources. You're gonna be upset when you're not able to clear shit because you spent all your resources on really bad pieces, right? But in terms of hardcore, you do want them because at the end of the day, even when a new character releases that's breaks the meta or anything, they're gonna be the first ones to find out or tell you based off of their knowledge of like the math and shit, based off of the person's percentages and what it takes for them to reach their max DPS, right?
Let's just move on, okay? Let's move on to the last point here. Now this last one is adjacent to the meta and it's gameplay monotony. I think this is bad because if everyone is playing the game the exact same way, what the fuck is the point of playing the game? Everyone has the same exact build. They have the same exact artifacts, echoes on their characters. I think this is bad for the game because it's just like, bro, the point of having a ecosystem or artifact system is so that people can build the characters they want, how they want, and try different things. And I think more specifically the ecosystem because the echoes have abilities themselves, so you can really customize your build. But what I've been seeing is a lot of people just using the same fucking template, the same shit. It's so bad. We're talking team comp. People is playing the same team comps. Oh, you play more Mortify with this character and you gotta play. It's like, what? Oh, it's gonna make the game feel boring. You're watching a video.
Well, to be fair, like there's not a shit ton of characters, right? Like that, and then there's like very limited support characters. Like if a character buffs heavy attacks and you're using a character that only really uses heavy attacks, why would you not use the one buffer for heavy attacks? I think this kind of makes no sense. It'll make sense maybe like it'll make sense later down the line because this game really is like more combat focused, right? But for right now, like everybody's gonna be using the same teams because there's like 10 characters, bro. Like, yeah, duh. It's 10 characters and you need 3 teams.
You're copying to a T what that person does, and you're not actually having the fun, because the fun of the game isn't beating the hard content. It's learning how to fucking beat the content. Oh man, how do I beat Memphis or Tempest? Well, his name is so stupid. They tried to rhyme it. You're not Dr. Seuss. Sit down, Kiro. This is just how I feel. I feel like this really ruins games, and it would be nice to see different stuff. And maybe this is Kiro's fault for just putting stuff in the game where you can only do something one way. But what I've seen is there's tons of other builds that people use that are just as good or better than what the meta is. So yeah, I think the hardcore players definitely create this.
I think Jan Zhen is the best example of this. I know Gotcha Smack's like her #1 fucking fan and advocate. I still don't think she's like that great. I don't use her. I have her at like 2 dupes. I pulled her so many times by accident. I was just like, fuck, I don't even use this character. But she's like the best example of this because she's so flexible. She works as a support really well. She works as DPS okay, not the best. She's sort of hybrid. She's also really defensive. She can be a yeah, like a support character in that sense. She can buff. Like she can do a lot of stuff. And like every account, everybody's Jianshin looks different, honestly. Like some people play her as a DPS, some people play her as support. For me, on one of my teams, she's just straight up support. And that's fine. I think that's like the goal for this. If they release more universal like kits that can be used as either sub DPS or main DPS, I think the game will flourish and you'll see this sort of variety he's talking about. I think more characters like her actually will be good for the game. But again, the combat and like with combos and shit, if they keep releasing characters with complex combos and not a bunch of characters like Gion, we will see a wide variety because somebody may not be as broken, but they may have a better playstyle for you, and you may prefer long range, etc. And it feels more like you get choice in that sense. Because long range damage deals are just not going to do as much as close range because it's just way safer in a game where bosses are on your ass. Like it's actually difficult.
It's like repetitive environment in games. So yeah, that's the video. That's just what I want to talk about today. Subscribe, like, and comment. You know, do
Sorry, my mic cut off for a second. Overall, solid video though. I actually think he's more right in this video than wrong. He's getting better in terms of his opinions, you know. No, but overall, I think hardcore players are important for gacha games, man. Like everybody says all this shit after they know which characters are better than others, right? And then they complain about hardcore players, but it's like you wouldn't know they showed out them. They also do just discover so much for a game, and for gacha games, like most people don't have the luxury of just using every single character they want, right? Like you just don't get that. So maybe if like 2 characters you like are in the same patch, maybe you look at who does more damage or who's more useful for your account overall. Like there's so many other things, but overall, solid video. I'll see you guys next time. Peace. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below about hardcore players and meta. Bye.